Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing? Today, I want to talk a little bit about the outfield. I've spent a lot of time talking about the infield lately, so I wanted to go out to the outfield. I've had a lot of questions about it. One thing I want to talk about today is knowing your conditions and your environment when you're an outfielder. So there's a lot of things that you can do before the game even takes place, and then there's other things that you need to constantly be doing as the game is being played. And I just wanted to go through a list of a couple of things that I thought of that'll really help you. And especially if you're playing at a park that you've never played at before, you need to make sure you do a lot of these things before the game and during the game. So just a couple of things to keep in mind. The first thing you always want to do is know the dimension of the field. Know how big the left field is, center field, right field. Know how the fence is. Sometimes there's little crevices. There's weird angles on the fence. So you want to go out there and make sure that you understand how the fence is. Now I understand at lower levels you're probably not going to get as much of that, but at some high school fields, and then especially once you get to college, some fields are funky, and the outfield walls aren't always really clean cut and nice like they are in high school. Sometimes they'll jet out at certain spots or come in really quickly, so you need to make sure you understand what the dimensions of the field are. The second thing is know what the warning track is like. There's some warning tracks that you might not want to dive on. There's some that if you're running, you can't really tell you're on a warning track, and other ones you can. So you want to know that way when a ball is up against the fence or you're running hard near foul territory and there's that warning track there, kind of get a feel for what it feels like. So you're more comfortable when you're around the fence when a ball's hit over your head. Know if there's a bullpen on the field. A lot of fields now have a bullpen down the left field line and the right field line, and make sure you know if there's a bullpen there, where the mound's located, just so you have an idea. So when you're running after ball, you're not guessing, but you already have an idea in your mind of where the bullpen mound, where it is. Know how the ball bounces off the outfield wall. So before the game, just take a ball out there and just throw it up against the wall in different spots and see how it comes off. If it comes off really hard, if it doesn't come off at all, this way, if a ball's hit over your head, a lot of times, if you don't understand how the wall is, you might get too close to the wall, and it hits the wall and bounces back so far that the guy can now, instead of getting a double, can get a triple, or instead of getting a single, can get a double. In other parks, the ball's just going to hit the wall and die. And that's when if you know this beforehand, you'll be able to continue to get up close to the wall. So the ball hits the wall, it dies, just pick it up, throw it right in, you can keep a guy to a single or to a double. Some other things. Know how the grass is. If you're not able to get infield, usually you get an infield, outfield before the game, but if you're not able to, before the game starts, make sure you understand if it's slow grass, if it's fast grass. Sometimes if you're younger, if you're in high school, sometimes the grass isn't always the best. Sometimes there's dirt out there. Sometimes you get bad hops. So know that. Maybe you'll have to be less aggressive coming in on the ball if it's a really bad field, or maybe you can be more aggressive if it's a really clean-cut field and it's a little slower. You can really come in hard after the ball. So know that before the game starts. A couple of things to keep in mind as the game's going on. The wind. The wind is something, if you play at a windy field, you always have to check the wind, because a lot of times the wind will be blowing out to left, say, for one inning, and then all of a sudden it's blowing in, or it's blowing out to right, or it's swirling. So make sure you're always checking the wind, always looking at the flags, always taking a little bit of grass, throwing it up in the air. If you're an outfielder, the wind is going to play a huge role in how you position yourself and also how you track a fly ball, how you might shade. So make sure that you always know which direction the wind's blowing, and constantly check this during the game. Probably one of the most important things is to know where the sun is and also communicate with your outfielders. So obviously as the game's going on, the sun's going to move. Make sure you're always talking with the outfielder next to you, and if you're the center fielder, make sure you're talking to both guys. Sometimes the sun might be in a spot where, let's say you're the center fielder and you're going into the right center field gap, the sun's really in your eyes. Well, you want to let the right fielder know beforehand that any ball in the gap that he can take over. Usually as a center fielder, you're going to call off basically everybody if you can get there. But you might want to defer to the right fielder in that case and make sure he knows so that he doesn't see a ball hit there and he just says, well, the center fielder is going to get this ball, it's his ball. Make sure he understands that the sun is bad for you there and give him priority over you to catch that ball. And same thing with the left fielder if the sun's over there. And you always have to be communicating this stuff with your outfielders about the sun and the wind. Outfielders that communicate, that understand each other, usually make really good outfielders. So make sure you're always talking to each other. So these are just a few things that came to my mind. I probably forgot a couple. If there's anything that I did forget that comes to your mind, let me know in the comment section, and we'll go from there. So I hope this helps out a little bit. I'll be putting up more outfield videos. This is just the first one that I made, but I'll make a bunch of them and start throwing them up here every couple of days. All right, I hope this helps, and we'll talk to you later.